Well, hello, and my name is Guy Haworth, and I'm lecturing at the School of Systems Engineering, principally on a study program called Information Technology. My background is primarily in industry. I spent 30 years in industry with a company called ICL, which is now part of Fujitsu Services. And in those 30 years I was initially technical, and then I was into marketing and selling and customer support, and latterly business consultancy. So I'm primarily coming from an industry background, though I did some teaching in Cambridge when I was a postgraduate there. Academically, my background is in mathematics and computer science, and my role within the school now is to teach those modules which are more at the business end of the agenda for the study program. So I'm interested in creating graduates who can listen to customers who have problems which they think will be solved by IT systems, relate to those customers, propose a system solution, and then help to deliver that solution to the customer. In answer to the question, what do I teach? The three modules that I'm primarily involved with are e-business in the first year, project management in the third year, and I also run a virtual company called Projects R Us, within which students do their major project in the final year. So I'll talk about each of those in turn. E-business is focusing on the connection between business and people and technology. If you like, a primary message is that in order to solve business or enterprise problems, we want to line up the new way of doing business with the people who are going to do that business, and they are going to be supported by systems which are primarily based on IT. So the students on the e-business module will learn how to think about business, think about the social dimension of change and creating systems, and also they will understand a little bit about the technologies that will be used to create those IT systems. So that's e-business. In the third year on project management, my colleague and I are teaching people that there is a discipline of project management. It's a highly valued discipline. Those people who make good project managers have got a job for life if they want it. And we use the methodology of Prince 2 as a demonstration of one way of managing projects. And so that brings in the idea that there are specific roles in managing a project, there are specific processes that can be followed in managing a project, and these are generic, they're nothing to do with the specific project that's being undertaken. So that's project management. And finally, in the last year, we have the project module in which students choose a project which has a customer which is not themselves. They have to relate to the customer's requirements, to understand their pain, if you like, why they want to do something differently in the future. They have to understand the kind of problem the customer's got, maybe find other situations which are relevant, which illustrate what the solution might be, and they have to produce a part solution to that customer's problem. This is quite challenging. It's something required by the British Computer Society as well, because this is, if you like, the major proof that the student has learned something over their 3 years and can bring it together and apply it in a real, quasi-real situation. So the British Computer Society always likes to see this kind of module in the study program if the students are going to be on a fast track to membership of the Computer Society. It certainly is quite challenging, but I think it's the thing that employers are certainly interested in as people go for job interviews after the course. And we see some really wonderful work during that year. Okay, so outside of my teaching, my primary interests are my family. I've got two boys who are now 29 and 27, so that's quite grown up. And my chief hobby in a sporting direction is in offshore yachting. I've kind of specialised in becoming a navigator, and so people who've got large boats, sort of 40 foot and upwards, tend to invite me to navigate their offshore races for them. So I've been doing that for about 15 years now, and I've sort of sailed in Solent and across the Atlantic, and I've done both and been in some very interesting regattas, even won a race or two, so that's quite challenging. What I find is that most people who are in the crew have got technical computer related jobs during the week, and the last thing they want to be doing is using a computer when they go sailing. But on the other hand, I think my biggest contribution to winning a race is actually to outthink the other navigators, and so I quite enjoy that challenge. I'm also pretty robust, and I can kind of live down below decks whatever the weather, so that's quite lucky really. Formally speaking, I don't do research, but I do pursue one or two ideas. They're kind of in the areas of devising algorithms to solve problems on computers, and those algorithms in turn are based on the mathematics I did when I was an undergraduate at Oxford and when I was doing postgraduate PhD studies at Cambridge.